Hello everyone, Shroomraver here, and we are back in Superflat mode for episode 2 of this Minecraft series. Currently stood here in my very unfurnished house. Roof is going to need a little work somewhere down the line, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I want an enchanting setup in here, plus a bedroom, maybe a living space. But for now, we're back out in the world, and starting off today, we need to gather some stuff. We can get a lot of raw materials here. As you can see, I planted a small forest on the outskirts of town. But to kick things off, we're going to be visiting some other villages and totally not pillaging them for specific supplies. So it's off on our horse we go to look for neighbouring villages. I am very, very glad that we have a horse for this, otherwise we'd be walking for hours. Gathering a few errant mob drops as we go for later. Now, as mentioned before, villages are some of the only structures to spawn in Superflat, and we need a few very specific things. Now, you might think diamonds will be our priority, but you'd be wrong, because once we have a solid trading setup, we'll be able to get diamond gear pretty easily. No, the things we're looking for are job blocks and, most importantly, obsidian. And for the latter, we are going to need blacksmiths. Ah, hello, small child. And it looks like we've already paid this one a visit. The problem with villages in Superflat is there is no point of reference in the world, so it becomes pretty tricky to navigate where you've already been. This would become something of a running theme for my exploration during this session. I was at this for an embarrassingly long time. Still, maybe we'll have some more luck in the next village. Probably worth remembering there are sheep around. We may need those later too for wool and stuff like that. Now, we do have a blacksmith here, but as you'll see going in, without too much that we're looking for. A spare saddle and tools are always nice to grab though, and it turns out this village has a second blacksmith. And going in the door, survey says, success! 3 diamonds and another saddle. The diamonds are a bit more important. Now, I know I said that those aren't the priority, but we do need at least 2 of them for an enchanting table, so this is a pretty big find early on. Hopefully, our luck can continue. Blacksmiths have kind of been nerfed in Minecraft, insofar as they're not guaranteed to appear in villages. It's around a 50% chance, but it's balanced by sometimes having multiple ones as seen here. Hopefully, we'll run into more of them on our journey today. Nothing much in this village aside from some food and a few sheets of paper though, so after grabbing that, we'll just move on. A few more villages to explore here, and first off, we can get ourselves a lectern. Very useful to grab this, as I'm missing one in our home village. This will let us grab a librarian at some stage, which is going to be crucial for getting mending on our eventual gear. We nabbed the books too, so we can get up and running with enchanting as soon as possible. Sugarcane is hard to come by in Superflat, so the more books we can get, the better. But it's getting dark, so we'll spend the night here. Excuse me, mate there. Gonna need that bed real quick, and we'll set out in the morning. On to the next village, as we'll see here, going through this house. And to start with, emeralds. Incredibly useful for trading, so we'll grab these whenever we can. We'll be able to use those much later down the line, have a bit of a snack while we're waiting. And once our hunger has been sated, it's off to explore the rest of the village, jumping around, looking in windows to see if there's any chests worth looking in. Nothing much more to see in this village, but on second thoughts, we will grab this brewing stand. We have a couple already, but clerics are great to have around. Not only to trade away rotten flesh for more emeralds, but once they level up, they can give stuff like lapis for enchanting and glass for decoration. Continuing our pillaging journey, we can nab another saddle from here, and while we're here, we may as well get some fresh armour. Ours has taken a little bit of a hit here and there, so nice to have a new set. There's a second blacksmith here, as mentioned, just looking in this house, nothing to see. So we'll check out this second blacksmith, see if they've got anything, and sadly, it's completely empty. Unfortunate. But we are undeterred. So, saddling up the horse here, and will this village have any better stuff? And no. In fact, this is all seeming a bit familiar. Turns out we've absolutely been here before, as seen by that used leather armour. Again, this is the issue with navigating Superflat. No points of reference, so the chances of getting turned around and revisiting places is pretty high. Still, time to pick a different direction and head on out. Into the next village to see if this blacksmith has anything, and it has obsidian. Finally, some good fortune. We're going to be needing this for the enchanting table, as well as an eventual nether portal. Now, I'm pretty invested in grabbing building materials from the nether, as well as necessary items to progress in the game itself. There was nothing much more to see here though, unfortunately, so spend the night, and it's on to the next village and the next blacksmith. And I gotta tell you, once we finally make our way in, our luck continues. Always nice to get some free iron, and even the gold might help with piglin trading in the nether when we do end up getting there. And our good fortune continues. More iron, more gold, another saddle, and more obsidian. That's nearly enough for all of our purposes, so we'll probably be heading back home soon. Taking the time to refresh our armour here. We'll leave them the old sets. Nice to leave them with something, I suppose. We'll take the extra saddle too. They're a lot more valuable in regular Minecraft, but they're nice to have here too. And, hey guys, what's going on here then? Any ideas? Nope, just standing on a torch. Okay, sure, you do you. I will grab the emeralds from in here though. Cheers lads, as you were. As the sun sets, we can go in here and grab another lectern for librarian purposes. Get a few more books as well while we're at it, always nice to have. The next village is another double blacksmith one. So, let's see if they've got anything worthwhile. First one up, and yes! A bit more iron and a couple of fresh swords. We'll grab one of those, just in case. Can never have too many early iron weapons. We'll leave the other one. Again, nice to leave them with something. I don't know why I took those oak saplings. I clearly don't need them, but I think I might have a problem. I just can't stop myself. Off to the second blacksmith, and success! Even more obsidian and iron. This is surely as much as we'll need at this stage. Pretty happy with how this mission has gone so far. And with that, we're back home. Lovely. Good to be back. We'll do a little bit of inventory sorting first, and then it's time to work on the village itself. A lot of the buildings will have to come down, starting with the outliers. We'll probably end up tearing them all down to make way for fewer but bigger and more useful buildings. I personally can't manage a village that's too big, so compacting it into a few main builds is going to be the way to go. We'll be able to recycle these materials for building, and the mossy cobble will be especially good for decoration. Personally, I'm a big fan of the mossy bricks. I think they make for really great accenting on builds, give them a bit of age, a bit of depth. So we'll be keeping those safe for now. We've also got a lot of this white terracotta, which I haven't used all that much while playing Minecraft before, but since we'll have so much of it and building material variety is so scarce right now, I'll be keeping that for a later date. But with that, it's off to bed to prepare for our next major build. We've got a lot of the cobble and oak wood, so what I'm doing here is laying out the foundations for what will eventually become one of our main trading hubs. This will hopefully end up as some sort of armory. I'm looking to house a few villagers in here, including those who will trade us weapons, armor, and tools, maybe even stone later on down the line. The vision I have for this build is a ground floor workshop with kind of a walled off open air veranda with a staircase leading upwards to a more wooden living space. We're going to be laying out the main foundation in cobblestone. We'll change the wall supports in the corners a bit later on to be made of stone brick, again just to add a bit of depth, a bit of variety and some more accenting. This bit I'm filling in now is going to wind up as like where I'm envisaging the workshop to be. I want it to be open access, but I still want to keep our villagers safely inside. This used to be a thriving little place, but I've noticed some of the villagers do tend to go missing at times, which is a little worrying. So what I want are several buildings that can house multiple traders, all of which will have decent wandering space, but will remain walled off until I can fully secure the village itself. Now, that's going to involve building a large wall, but that's a project to undertake way in the future. For now, I'm just getting this workshop space done. Getting started with the second floor here, and we're going in with oak wood logs as the structural support. The main body of this floor is going to be made of more oak wood planks, so we get that nice kind of differentiation between the stone of the workshop and the wood of the living space. The roof here will be made of stone brick and cobble, and I'm looking kind of for more of a flatter build, using mostly slabs as opposed to the more usual stairs. We're using stairs on the edge as you can see there, but there is that nice kind of flat slab-based build that I want to replicate all the way across. That'll be done with more cobblestone, just to add that little bit of roofing variety. Now, working on the roof took us most of the way through the night, and unfortunately that meant uninvited guests trying to use my dirt staircase to come and say hi, which I didn't want. Still, at least it was only one of them. Yeah, just one? Maybe two, three. Nope, it was a whole ass horde of zombies. Looks like I didn't light the place up enough because they were everywhere. And with me in build mode, I was not prepared for combat at all. Time for a bit of evasive action to escape, but they were waiting for me outside. I was worried that this was going to be my first death, ran away from where my house was, and after running around aimlessly for a little bit, I finally made it to a small house, thankfully with a bed, which I needed a lot more than this guy. Sorry mate, we're going to have to wait this one out. Morning came, and while still on fire, the zombies were relentless in their search for human flesh. That guy appears to have absolutely no fear, because he just waltzed outside like it wasn't Dawn of the Dead out there. Thankfully, the zombies were lining up to be cut down. So, after dealing with them, I'd be able to get back to my building project. The roof and floor were in. I considered starting on the walls right now, but instead, I figured I'd hop back downstairs and start putting a little bit of decorations inside. Some barrels would be nice for storage. I thought that would look better than just having chests everywhere. But this guy, our armourer, I wanted to try and get some better deals because he was selling for a little bit more than I was willing to pay. Now this is where I started getting a little bit confused with my job blocks. As you see, I get rid of his job block here with the intention of doing it again, but it seemed he had greater dreams. Dreams of being a fisherman in a world without water. Turns out barrels are also a job block. I didn't know that. We'll have to deal with that guy's delusions of fishing later because the workshop/armory is finished. I added in some cobble walls to give more of a sense of depth, and we'll put in some windows when I have better materials to do so. For now, the downstairs section is pretty much complete, with a couple of metalworking traders as well as decent storage for all our stone and purchase items. Upstairs, we've got a spacious living area that's currently even less furnished than my own house. Eventually, I'll get this place looking pretty decent, but for now, our armourer and toolsmith are locked in and ready to provide some useful stuff to us. This guy has an iron trade, as do many of the level up traders in this industry, but it's going to be a while until we're set up with an iron farm to fully take advantage of that. For now, we just have this iron golem, trapped in a house, injured and unable to escape. This is no way to live. I'm so sorry, buddy. Trust me, it's better this way. Hey, plus we get some free iron. I finally found a spare villager wandering around, and I want him to be a Fletcher. Fletchers are one of the best emerald sources out there because mostly all they want are sticks, which are super easy to come by. There was a recently vacated house nearby with a bed, so all I had to do was drop down the job block and I'd be in the money. Come on, buddy. Little closer. Little bit closer. You're nearly there and... Son of a bitch. Meanwhile, our farmer was trying to escape and getting himself in all sorts of trouble. This is why we need a wall, okay? These villagers are an absolute liability. Come on, buddy. Come on, back to safety with you. Goodness sake. Sir? Sir, what are you doing? That cannot be good for your health. Why are villagers like this? After rescuing the village idiot from a tree, he finally took the Fletcher job. This is the start of unlimited wealth. Will we crash the stick economy? Maybe. Is it worth it? Absolutely. I don't know what this guy is doing with all the sticks, but it means more wealth for me, so more power to him. We spent the rest of the day clearing out some of the trees for future building and trading use, as well as getting started on some proper farming, now that we've got an actual farmer in the village. And with that said and done, that's all from this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. Next time, we'll be adding some new builds to our village and hopefully getting some more traders involved. I want to fill out the workshop with a couple more people and get started on a proper farmer, cleric and librarian setup. But the infrastructure is in for now and we're not looking in too bad of a position. If you want to see these sessions live, you can hop over to my Twitch channel, link in the description, and watch as I slowly, tortuously slowly, build up this village into a thriving metropolis. Hope to see you there, but for now I'm going to get out of here, so my final thank you to you all for watching, and guess with that, I will see you next time. Laters!